I know it didn't sound like I was ready because I was like,
Yeah.
oh, like, what's this going on? But anyway, we're all good. I'm now 15 minutes out of bed.
Yeah.
Hello, Internet.
Cause
Welcome to Say Report Jr., a podcast you should be listening to, subscribe to, and downloading every week. I am one of your host companions, Zack.
and I'm your other host companion, Dayle Decker. There's such a difference.
Oh man, I'm
There's
so sleepy.
such
I
a
shouldn't say sleepy.
difference.
I'm just waking up. We had a massive windstorm all last night that kept me awake. So
Me too.
to like roll out of bed. Ugh.
It was awful. My cat was in my room and then she was like crying to get out. So I let her out and then I could not get back to sleep because of how much wind and just terribleness there was outside. Things were like blowing around in my I was afraid something was going to come through my window.
Right. Like
And so like I was on guard. I'm like
that's the thing. I sleep with like YouTube white noise videos basically playing a lot.
mhm.
So like when do you think would be like right up there to help me fall asleep? But instead all I could think was when do I hear a crash? When do
Yeah,
I hear a thing
exactly.
come falling off? When does something break?
Exactly. And it was we have like a grill. I don't know if it was the grill or if it was our fire pit, but something metal started like definitely tipped over, I think during I couldn't really tell when I looked outside, but I'm pretty sure something metal flipped over last during this whole windstorm and I'm like that thank God that's not lighter. It can't go up 2 stories. But yeah.
So how you been?
I've been good. A lot of stuff. I
It's been
finally.
actually a week since we recorded, right? Because we did Friday last week too.
No, we did not do Friday because I was in Virginia.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's been a week and a half.
So it's been a
Yes,
week
a
and a
lot
half.
has happened.
We definitely recorded on Tuesday, I think, last week.
Yep. I was thinking the week
So
before.
yeah,
It all blends together
it
now.
all blends together.
Oh.
No, it's been very eventful. I finally got to go see movies, as you've heard probably from Devin.
Yay, movie.
Yay movies. Some devastating things happened in my Let's Go Eevee Nuzlocke.
So I heard.
Devastating, and I haven't gone back because I just am so afraid. Um, Halloween was good. I don't know where to start. I don't know where would you like me to start? I
I
feel
don't.
like
Hmm. I mean, we could start with the move. Like,
yeah, I
okay,
guess
chronologically, I guess.
chronologically it's the movies, right?
Then let's do the movies
All
first.
right. So last weekend, and you can hear Devin talk about this as well on the on Say Report, but last weekend we went to a video game, like speed gaming live kind of. It was speed gaming live, but it was a video game competition, and in Virginia. And while we were there, we got to see like 2 movies because our hotel was in the same plaza as a AMC, and
Nice.
like I would go to Virginia again, just to stay in that specific plaza, because there was like everything you needed. There was a movie play. There was a movie theater. There was a really nice like place called Shard. Like it's kind of like a barbecue smoky version of Five Guys.
Oh, you did say charred.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a burger place, and they have it's more on the barbecue side of like how a barbecue joint would be, but it was the best, and I'm sad that they are not around here, but
Look,
literally would go to Virginia for that. But yeah, it was a really nice plaza, but we got to go see movies there. Um,
this plaza sounds like like when a resort is put in a country where it's like, oh yeah, you go to the resort and you never leave the resort because
yeah,
everything that you need is right in the resort.
pretty much.
So you never leave and see what the rest of the place is like. It's like,
Yeah,
I went to a plaza in Virginia. I don't know what Virginia looks like, but this plaza is nice.
yeah. It was pretty. I mean, legit. Like that's basically what it was, because because the only place that we really went to in Virginia was the other hotel that the event was happening at. So it was like these 2 areas. And that hotel was completely secluded, like nothing around it except for highway and maybe a gas station and
Yeah, it
maybe
sounds like
like an eating area.
That
But
sounds
like,
like the type of hotels I saw when I was driving across the country,
yeah,
where you just hit the first thing that comes up on the freeway.
exactly. It definitely is the more like this is your one night to stay here scenario, whereas like the one that we stayed at was, for full length, maybe like a business,
Like a 3 day
like a
weekend.
3 day weekend
Yeah.
kind of thing. Because even outside of the plaza, there was places. There was a Giant, which was a Stop and Shop. It was just, I think it was just called Giant Marketplace, but it then said in very tiny letters,
A
Stop and
Stop and Shop.
Shop.
Oh God, that's like when
But
Starbucks takes
it's
over like
so
an
weird.
independent coffee shop, where it's just like, oh yeah, come to Tammy's Brews.
Yeah.
And underneath it just says a Starbucks
Starbucks.
company.
Yeah, it was so weird. So like there's a Stop and Shop right down the street. There was other like fast food places. So it was a really nice area that we stayed in. I went to this is, we'll get to the movies soon, but I need to talk about some of the Virginia stuff and Washington stuff. Um, but so Pokemon Go, I've been very into and tapped into Pokemon Go this month because it's a Halloween special,
Gotta get
event.
that Pikachu making fun of Mimikyu.
Yeah, and the Charmander making fun of Cubone,
Oh God,
and
they're
I
all so
don't know.
cruel.
They're all so like,
They're
and
not actually making fun of
they're not
them,
making
but
fun
it
of
just
them.
looks like they are.
They're just wearing spooky costumes,
Oh
much like
man.
how we would like technically people who dress up as vampires. Like that's
Do
kind of
oh,
cruel in its own
oh my God.
sense.
Does Clefairy wear Gengar makeup? Is that offensive?
I don't
Is
don't
that like
know.
Ghostface?
I don't know. I'm not going there. We are not going there on this chipper morning. We are not going there. But the only one that I thought wasn't like offensive was Squirtle, because I'm like, oh, it's Yamask. Yamask is a ghost that carries a mask around. And then I found out that the mask that the Yamask carries was the face of itself when it was alive,
Of course.
and it cries to it
Of course. Fucking
sometimes.
ghost Pokemon. Ghost
And
Pokemon are
I'm
so
like,
fucked up.
oh, Yamask. First of all, new favorite. Yamask is
I love it. Give it a sad enough backstory, and oh, that's Dale's new favorite.
because it's like I need to love you. You need my love. You need to be my best friend.
Uh,
Pokemon. But yeah, so very very intact with Pokemon Go this month. Even though I haven't gotten nearly as much as I would want to. But anyways, it's all digital. It doesn't matter anyways. But I
hey now,
noticed.
some of us live in digital. Don't tell me that.
No, I'm saying,
Okay.
well, I'm saying Pokemon. They're not real. The Pokemon aren't real. I don't get to hold them. Unless I buy the plush and then like make sounds. I
Anyway.
don't know. Anyway. But Starbucks is like one of the sponsors of Pokemon Go. So, and I never noticed this before, but when you click on a Pokemon Go stop, that is a Starbucks, on the top it says ask your Starbucks about the Pokemon Go Frappuccino.
Oh, God.
Now I did not know this was a thing, never noticed it before. I read it out loud to Devin and he looked at the picture. He goes, "Yeah, it looks like it's a purple drink." And I'm like, I never put that together. But so I went to the Starbucks.
I've seen the purple drink.
Yeah, but I thought the purple drink was like the unicorn drink that they had.
Right.
That doesn't exist anymore. And then there was also like a magic crystal ball. There was like a crystal ball drink that they had that was also kind of purple, I think. And so, but those are limited. This seems like it's an ongoing thing. But I'm like, I'll try it. I'm in Virginia. What do I have to lose? And go to the Starbucks, which I don't frequent Starbucks at all. I don't really know how to order there. I'm just like, coffee? Yeah, thanks. But I go up to the guy and I'm like, do you guys have a Pokemon Go Frappuccino? And I don't think he heard me correctly. And he was like, you mean like a mocha? Like a mochaccino? And I'm like, no, like a Pokemon Go. And he's like, well, we could do like a white mocha and a Frappuccino with white mocha. I could try that. And I'm like, sure, yep, we'll just do that. And it was delicious. but I don't think it was. I
So
don't think.
I'm on Starbucks secretmenu.com.
Okay.
Sorry, .net, more official.
Thank you.
Uh, Starbucks Pokemon Go Frappuccino off the Starbucks secret menu. It says on here that might actually just be the renaming their fans,
Okay.
renaming their website. Who knows?
Okay.
Uh, and it just says drink will be integrated into the game and featured at select locations listed as Pokestops and gyms, and approximately 7,800 stores will be participating.
Yeah.
While you won't see the Pokemon Go Frap on the actual menu, an image of the drink will appear when you tap on Starbucks in the game. But like most Starbucks secret menu beverages, even the limited edition ones, anyone can order it. So it could just be that this guy just didn't get the memo.
Didn't get the memo,
Because that
or
happens
it could. Well,
sometimes.
it could be the Starbucks, one of the
One of the
Starbucks
few
that
Starbucks not
don't
participating.
participate. But it seemed like he just didn't know. I don't think he heard me. That's the thing, because Starbucks is very loud. Like
Starbeaks is.
Starbucks is
Starbeaks.
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 I'm okay with that.
Now it's a Pokemon.
The-
Starbeaks.
Damn it. No, they're very loud. Like,
Oh yeah.
like
They're
I
the bars of coffee.
yeah, because with the people waiting and talking and like enjoying their day, which good, happy for you. But then you also have like the espresso machines that are very loud, which I've worked with an espresso machine. It is, and I know that you work with an espresso machine now. Like,
That steam and that milk just
they're freaking loud. The worst thing was at Rick. I worked in the cafe for like 1 semester, 2 semesters, and we had a cappuccino machine or an espresso machine, and we had to learn how to like foam up the milk, and that went wrong all the time. That was bad. And like none of us were trained baristas or anything like that. So there was milk flying everywhere. But that steamer is just the loudest thing ever. So like trying to talk over that and saying Pokemon Go, and, like it was just a weird situation. Also, to make it weirder, because I got something for Devin too, and he was just like waiting in the back. Our order came up. They yelled. They called Dayle, whatever. So I grabbed one drink, and then I grabbed another drink that, unbeknownst to me, was in the like to go area.
oh, the mobile pickup
I
thing.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where it
Those
was.
should be in very
So,
separate places from where you give your
so,
your regular orders out. That's all I'm saying.
so that's the only explanation I have is to like why it was there. So I grabbed both of them. I'm like, oh, it's weird that they're on different levels of the pickup window, but okay. So I walk over and bring it over to Devin, and I'm drinking mine. And Devin looks at it. He goes, "This says John." So I'm like, I just took it back, and like, you can't really sneak it.
Oh,
But
damn,
like,
I was really hoping you were gonna say I just put it back on the thing.
well, I did.
Ah,
But I was like, I'm gonna.
That's not mine. There you go.
I was just like, I'm gonna try and sneak it back on the thing. But there's a wall of people who I'm like in front of, and it reminded me of a. So in middle school, there was a project we had to do, and it was fucked up. And like when something like this happens, it always reminds me of this project. But it was like it was a science class project thing, right? Where it was observational. It was stuff like to learn about observation, and it was weird because it was each class had to do it, and certain people from other classes would get selected as the people who would come in and actually do the action. So I was one of these people one time, and it was I got pulled out of class, me and this other person, I don't remember who it was, but we got pulled out of class and we were told, listen, next science period, you are going to go to the science classroom and act like you need to get a signature from the teacher, right? And then they go, now one of you is going to be getting the signature, one of you is going to steal something off of the whiteboard. And it was either like an eraser or the
This
like
is how
spray or like a
Oliver
marker.
Twist was taught, by the way.
Oh.
This is pickpocketing 101 is what you're doing.
Yeah, it was basically that. So I don't know. Let's say it was an eraser. So my job was to be the stealer, was to be the person who took the eraser, and the class was drawing like I think they were trying to draw out the whiteboard or draw out the room. I don't remember exactly. But they had to, like, come up to the board every now and then and take a good look at, again, let's say the eraser. I don't remember what it was exactly. But they had to get a good look at the eraser so they could get the details down. And there was no good opportunity for me to grab it. So I'm, like, trying to hover over it, and I'm, like, trying to block it, but, like, not seem too obvious. And finally, like, the person I was with was, like, taking too quick of a time, too. So I'm like, all right, I just need to grab it. So I grabbed it, but I grabbed it at this time where another one of the classmates in the actual class was staring at the eraser. And the two of us just locked eyes, and I just turned around and left the room.
Dayle, what you just described is a Hitman level. It's an untitled Goose Game challenge. What you just described was that you lived a video game, and your sneak was not like you weren't wearing the right armor that didn't give you the sneak bonus. Like you didn't catch the pattern of the NPCs to figure out when to sneak.
But so then the class had to like draw out who they thought stole the eraser. And I got drawn by all of my classmates. And it was like just the funniest. It is so vivid, like the just look that me and this kid shared as I wish that had ended. Eraser.
I wish that had ended with you yelling "smoke bomb" and running out of the room.
No, and I was just I was so disappointed. But like that's anytime I have to like sneak something or I need to like put something back, that's what my mind goes to is 7th grade. Me being tasked and told you need to steal this thing. And I like to say I have gotten better. No, I'm only kidding. I don't.
With my years of practice.
My years of pickpocketing. No. I do not do that. But it was. So I like walk up in front of this wall of people and I just place it back down, walk back to Devin, and then they call my name again.
The single best part of that...
And I have to go get Devin's drink.
The single best part of that is that anybody that spends enough time at Starbucks knows that probably happens like every 10 minutes. And all you had to do was put it down and go, oh, I'm sorry, I thought this was my other one. And no one would care. Yeah. I bet no one even noticed or cared that you put it down again and walked away. Because no one's paying attention to anybody.
Well, they're all on their phones. That's the other thing, which was like really weird because we also saw Jexy. One of the movies we saw was Jexy. And there's a whole big scene where they go order, Adam Devine goes and orders a coffee, pays with his phone, and then everybody in like a huddled group is just on their phone. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Phones worked in my favor this time. But yeah, it was just so funny. But yeah, to the movies. Let's move on to the movies.
Let's all go to the movie. I got nothing.
No,
that's all the energy I had for that.
Okay.
Anyway.
That's okay. I have a quick question. Did Devin tell the Arlington story?
Oh my God, I don't remember.
He
broke down Jexy, and they talked about Joker a lot. So I don't think Arlington came up.
Probably not. All right, before we get to the movies, I'm also going to share this story of how we almost got ticketed in Arlington Cemetery.
No, this is not a story he told.
Yeah, okay.
In the cemetery?
In the cemetery.
Okay.
Yep. So...
I'm also going to talk about the fact that I will never be able to hear Arlington and not think about Arlen from King of the Hill ever my entire life.
I'm sorry.
I will confuse them forever. Anyway.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so we went to Arlington Cemetery to visit my father's parents' graves. And So we have a family pass, which allows us, to drive into the cemetery and get to the graves.
Oh yeah, because
So,
Arlington's like super important, so like they have to be like super secure about
oh
that. I was about
yes,
to feel like I was just thinking, I was like, you need passes to go into a cemetery, but
yeah,
it's
it's
Arlington.
it's
Yes, you
Arlington,
do.
so it's
Yeah,
it's very it's all military bases, all of that. So,
yeah.
very very serious. And so we were driving around trying to find the plot that the graves are at, but we were stopping at we stopped at two places. We stopped at JFK's JFK's grave, which it's just amazing the amount of disrespect people can have in those kind of situations too, where it's like you're in a cemetery, you are in a military cemetery, and you're just like being super loud, super obnoxious, fighting over to take the picture of JFK's grave, which like that felt weird. And it was just like it's just and like there's school groups coming through, which it's interesting to see the amount of people there, but it's also like kind of feels dirty in this weird way.
Yeah.
um but so like that was a weird scenario, but seeing JFK's grave was interesting. And seeing the eternal flame that it never goes out. That's what eternal means. Sorry, I didn't need to explain that. But seeing the eternal flame was really cool. And it was just that cemetery it takes your breath away, because it's just there's so many graves. And it just makes you think about what our country has done, and how like what has happened in our country and beyond. And it makes you really think. But then after JFK's grave, we went to the tomb of the unknown soldier. And which, do you know what that is? Or
Yes. I mean, I have
okay.
a vague understanding of what. I mean, it's the monument for like when we don't get bodies back and stuff, right?
Well, so what it is, the story, like, you know, quick and dirty, is basically they after it was World War I, World War II, Vietnam, and Korea, or Korea and Vietnam. Um, they took four caskets of unknown whose bodies were unidentified. We don't know who the soldiers are. They took one of the caskets out of four of them and placed it in this tomb in Arlington. So there are three caskets there currently, because the one that was taken from Vietnam, they actually identified the soldier's
Oh,
body, so they were taken out of the tomb. So basically, there are three. There's one from World War I, World War II, and Korea, and then there's a big tomb that is empty to like be a representation of all of the soldiers that aren't identified, and we don't know who they are, but they still sacrificed so much to save to save the country and all of that. So it's again another breathtaking area. Like it's somber and sad, but and you look at the crowd of people, and it's like it's veterans who are just sitting there like paying their respects, and it's family members and all of that. And it's really like an emotional scene. And so we stayed there for the changing of the guard, because there is a guard who walks 21 steps every maybe like 3 minutes, 5 seconds. It was very quick. It's a very quick succession kind of thing. They maybe stand still for like 3 to 5 minutes, maybe less, and then they walk 21 steps and then stand again. And so there's a changing of the guard, and Devin and my dad had walked back to our car, which our car was parked in an area that said authorized vehicles only.
whoops.
But we thought that since we had a pass,
That meant the
that it meant
authorization.
the authorization. Like it was like,
Yeah.
oh, only people with passes can park here. So we were like, okay, so we'll park here. And my dad and Devin went to the car. My mom and I were standing up at the tomb, and I was like, I really want to see the changing of the guard. So we'll let them. They'll rest over by the car, and we're gonna stay here. it's about like a 20-minute changing, because
Right.
there is a captain or a commander, commanding officer or captain, I don't remember his rank, but who has to check the next guard. So check his gun, check his, like, make sure that it's clean, make sure that his uniform is clean, make sure it's in order. So that whole process takes about 15 minutes, and then they have to actually change the guard, and that takes another like 5-10 minutes, I don't know, but it's a very long process, and it's silent, completely silent. Now, changing the guard starts, and the new guard gets right in front of where my mom and I are, and my mom's phone rings. Now, like I said, it's dead quiet. It is silent. You can hear a pin drop. So my mom's phone rings, and it is so loud. And so she just turns it off because she's like, oh my God. We watch the changing of the guard, turn on her phone, look at my phone, and it's Devin saying, you need to get back to the car. We're getting ticketed. And we get back to the car, and there were 2 cops there. And thankfully, my dad had started talking to them about baseball and, like, was just playing very innocent of the whole thing and being like, we didn't know. Like, it's not like he really had to play innocent. We were innocent. We did not know what it meant to have an authorized thing. And it was so funny. It was so funny. And the cops were like, you can't, it's an old pass. You can't, we get that, but you can't tour the grounds anymore. They've really, taken it serious, where it's, you can only go to your family member's plot, and that's it. And we were like, okay, we're sorry. And we just got in the car. We started laughing, because it's like, if we got ticketed in Arlington Cemetery, it's a story in itself.
That goes on. That feels like the sort of thing that goes on, like if you were in school, it would go on your permanent record thing. It's like someone's got a file somewhere in the in Congress.
The
As
Decker
like
family.
people who got ticketed at Arlington.
Yep.
Cause why?
Yeah. But it was just it was very funny. But yeah, that cemetery is incredible. But yeah, so I just wanted to share that because it was very funny and really awkward.
Somber.
Yes, yeah. Like it was so bad. And like I was taking a video because I wanted a video of the changing of the guard. So I was taking a video, and all that is on the video is the guy the officer walking, and then my mom's phone ringing, and then it cuts because Devin tried calling me, but I did not see that he was calling me because I wasn't looking at my phone. I was actually watching the changing of the guard, and I just had my phone recording. So I didn't get anything but my mom's phone ringing. And it's just like, we have that forever.
Wonderful.
We have that documented
Absolutely
forever.
wonderful.
Yeah. But movies are great.
Are they?
Yeah.
Sometimes they're okay.
Sometimes they're...
I heard Jexy was very good.
Jexy is very good. So the 5 movies that I saw
Jesus.
last weekend, yeah, I had some catching up to do, Zach. So we saw Jexy, Gemini Man, Maleficent, and Mistress of Evil. I, on the way home from Virginia, watched Our Souls at Night on Netflix with my dad. And then we saw Joker. So those were the 5 movies that we saw. Jexy, real quick, Jexy, fantastic. I thought that movie I was not excited for it. I didn't really have expectations. Let's be honest. I didn't have any expectations for any of these 5 movies, especially Our Souls at Night, because I had no idea what it was. I just knew it was Robert Redford and Jane Fonda.
I have no idea what it is. So
It's Robert Redford and Jane Fonda, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful movie. But no expectations going into these movies. The only 2 I was really excited to go see were Gemini Man and Maleficent. Everything else, I was like, oh, whatever. So Jexy, I initially thought it was just going to be a parody of her, and it was going to be stupid and, like, really forced. But no, there's like an actual legit story going on, and it speaks volumes to society as a whole today, and like how much our phones kind of dominate society. Um,
Which one had a
so
better take on society, Jexy or Joker? Jexy. Jexy has a better take on society.
Jexy, yeah,
Joker is just bad. Anyway, we're gonna get to
yeah, we will.
it.
Nah, I really don't have anything to say about Joker. That's
Neither
the
do
thing.
I. I've got like one thing to say about Joker. We can get.
But yeah, but Jexy was just, I was so pleasantly surprised to be wrong about a movie. Like, it is one that I think everybody should go see, but nobody is going to, because the trailer paints it in this picture that is just, this is a terrible looking movie. And not enough people are really going to the theaters anymore to like just give things a try. It's a movie that people will catch on like Netflix if it comes to Netflix, or HBO or anything like that. It will be a, oh, this is on, why not movie, which is kind of sad. And I hope that when people do watch it, they'll realize, oh shit, this is actually a really good movie. It's so much more than what the trailer presented it as. But it's not getting the same like recognition as, say, Joker is getting. Or, other movies that probably don't deserve the amount of discussion that is happening. And equally to that is Gemini Man. And Gemini Man is being considered a huge flop, a huge bomb, and that disappoints me. Critically, it's being like shot down.
Yes, but I don't think I have to see the actual money involved, because I don't. I mean, I think it's still doing. I mean, it depends on how much money they put into it. Is the problem?
Yeah, that's the thing. So
because I think it's doing fine, but it was also expensive as hell to make.
Last I heard, it is not making the money that it spent, because you have to remember, Ang Lee filmed that in 4K, 4K 3D, high frame rate of 120 frames per second. Like, it was an expensive movie to make. It also took years and years to make. And I was looking at the IMDb, and I think, if I'm remembering correctly, it was like a project that had got brought up to Disney in like the 90s. So this is a very like painstakingly, this was a long process to get this movie made. And the amount of money that went into it, I don't think it's getting back.
Yeah.
But what upsets me, it's not even that, like, and I've said this before, I don't really pay attention to the money. I just don't. I probably should, but I just don't.
Well, I mean, the only reason to pay attention to it is for things like it determines how much marketing input something gets, or like what the discussion ends up being around it. Yeah.
But the thing about like critics just being so down on it, it's this thing that I always talk about of like, they are looking at that movie, they're watching that trailer, they're seeing that movie, and they're just like, this is a movie about a clone. This is stupid. And then it's like, you have Joker, where it's like, oh, this is a gritty, like, it's gonna really talk about, mental illness and all of that, and it's gritty, and it's dark, and it's deep, and it's showing, and it's a masterpiece, and it's all that. And it's like, okay, but what makes one better than the other? It's just this scenario that I hate, because I don't, and people keep asking me, they're like, do you think Joaquin Phoenix is going to get the Oscar? And it's like, I am so bad at determining that or thinking about that world.
The short answer to that is I don't care if he does, because, yeah, he probably will at least get nominated. But quite frankly, it doesn't matter.
But that's the thing, is that there have been, okay, I don't even know. Like, he played the Joker. Played the Joker really well. But everybody, in my opinion, who has played the Joker, who I have seen play the Joker, is able to nail the character. Because you can do whatever you want with that character as long as you maintain that grittiness, that craziness. As long as you portray that psychotic murderer who is just loving life, and like laughs at the tragedy that is life. As long as you're able to do that, you're good. You got the Joker. And I didn't know, I don't know how I didn't know this, but I didn't know that Heath Ledger won an Oscar.
You didn't get that?
No.
You never heard about that?
I don't think I ever heard of
Yeah,
that.
Michelle Williams accepted it for him,
Yeah,
obviously.
Maybe I just didn't, like, think of it. Maybe I didn't.
It's 2008. Maybe you weren't paying attention to Oscars at that point.
Probably not. Like, I didn't really pay attention to Oscars until I was in college. And now I'm just like, I don't care. Like,
yeah.
Okay, you won an Oscar. That's cool. It means something. But I've gotten to this point where it's like, and it's with Joker specifically right now, where it's like, I have seen better movies, better acted movies that this year that aren't even gonna get touched by Oscars. And it's like, I can't compare them. I personally cannot compare movies in the realm of Oscars anymore. Because I see a lot of movies, I see a lot of things that are incredible and have these actors who are able to just like completely be in the character, and I forget who they are because in the moment they are that character. That happened with Joaquin Phoenix in some aspects, but it's like, I think I lost him more in Her than I did in this. Like, there was a lot of moments where I was like, oh yeah, that's Joaquin Phoenix in Her. Like, and that movie's awful. I don't want to say hate, but like, I really don't like Her. But it is like, I felt like he more was in that. He was less of Joaquin Phoenix than he was
asked to actually act as a character that is outside of himself, as opposed to this movie where someone very clearly went, hey, Joaquin Phoenix does weird shit. Let's have him do weird shit for 2.5 hours. And then you watch it and go, yeah, that's Joaquin Phoenix doing weird shit for 2.5 hours. Like,
that's the thing. And again, it's a predetermined character too. I will say, seeing him as Arthur, I don't think that has really been done before. I could be mistaken.
Well, no. Like, I mean, the only other time we got like a real Joker origin story is in 1989 when he's where he's the gangster before that, and that's also good. But like, the other part of that is that's a third of that movie compared to the rest of the movie, and I think my biggest problem with Joker is that I spent most of that movie waiting for it to cut to the rest of the movie, because it feels like, oh, here's your villain origin story for your movie that you're watching. It's just that we stretch that out for 2.5 hours and don't have the rest of the movie it belongs to.
Yeah, it's just
so like,
it's just like people being like, oh, it's fantastic. And I'm like, that's cool. I'm happy that you loved it, but for me, it was literally just a movie. It was just another movie. It was just another superhero story, supervillain, I guess, origin story. It's interesting and it's very well made. It made me feel for the character, and then it made me, but like, I did not really have any reactions to it. Like, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It was just a movie. It was a pretty good movie.
Everything that I have found.
At the end of the day, I'm not gonna rush to watch it again.
Everything that I've found thoughtful to like think about that movie or find interesting is to just think about it in context of what I already know about Joker. So the movie itself is not like super interesting to me unless I sit there and go, well, unless this is happening from this comic and this comic or this idea or this thing that's brought in, which I know is not the case because Todd Phillips basically ran around telling everybody he never touched a comic book in his life. Yeah. So like, okay, so like that's why half of this movie
made another origin.
Right, and half of this movie just feels like, oh, you just went with whatever stories you've heard from cultural osmosis of Joker. You just slammed those together and then wrote a kind of story around that, and then you tried to tell people it was deeper than it actually is.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I can totally see if like you don't know much about the Joker, if you don't know much about the Batman world, and I'm saying this as a person who really does not know that much, but I know more than someone who like is not even connected to the comic book world at all. But I can totally see how someone outside of that world or whatever, outside of comic books, can watch this movie and love it and think it's a masterpiece. I can understand that, but it's like at the same time, there's better origin stories. There's better movies in this thing. And like, say what you will about Suicide Squad, but I would much rather watch Suicide Squad than this any time of the week. Like, and people hated on Jared Leto's Joker and hated on that, but it's a Joker that I find very interesting.
To be
just
fair,
like this one's interesting.
here's the thing I'm going to say about that. I mostly just hate Jared Leto. I think
fine.
his Joker was fine. I think his Joker was fine. I just don't care for Jared Leto.
That's fine.
Personally.
That is fine. That I get. That's fine. You can say that. But people were like so hard, like, and hated the portrayal of Joker in Suicide Squad, and it's like, it doesn't seem like people understand that Joker is a character that can literally be whatever the hell the writer wants him to be. Like,
it's a situation where Joker started out. He's in the very first Batman comic, and and obviously there was not very much thought. I would say there wasn't thought put into Joker, but no one they didn't write the original Joker to be who he is now. The problem is that, much like Batman, he has grown over the years to start to represent almost too specific an idea that now when people don't put that idea into it, it's like, well, why aren't you doing this? It's like, because that's only the last 20 years of the 70-year character.
Yeah.
The character doesn't need to be the opposite side of the coin to Batman. He became that because he's the longest running Batman villain. That's it. We glommed stuff onto Joker because he's existed as long as Batman. Otherwise we wouldn't have the same. There's a reason that people aren't doing Calendar Man and doing deep, gritty versions of Calendar Man.
Yeah.
But they were on the same level for a while.
Yeah. But it is. It's just this. It's this Joker, and to a degree Harley Quinn too. Like, and I was talking to my mom about that actually last night, where she was asking me about Harley Quinn, her like color scheme, and because someone on Dancing with the Stars was dressed as Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad, but a different color scheme. They were dressed as like pink and purple because, I guess, licensing or whatever.
Well, and that's what the Birds of Prey color scheme is versus the Suicide Squad one that they had before.
Is it? I thought Birds of Prey was also pink and blue.
I mean, it's all pink and green. Like the posters and stuff are all like pink and green, and I think she's got like a more pink and green tone to her than because she's not wearing the same costume, obviously, that she was wearing in Suicide Squad. So
no, I know. But
she's got like more. I should say it's more rainbow. Like pink and blue is definitely the base, but then like she's wearing like a bright neon green boa.
Yeah,
like,
true.
Yeah.
But on Dancing with the Stars, they were the I don't even know her name. I don't know who she is, but she was dressed in a pink and purple color scheme, but very clearly trying to be Harley Quinn. And my mom was like, "Isn't Harley Quinn black and red?" And I'm like, "Yes, but also." There are other Harley Quinns that are different color schemes because, much like Joker, Harley Quinn is very malleable and can be whatever. Like, and that's kind of why I love Harley Quinn.
Right, you're specifically talking about a character who is created for the animated series. She's not even originally a comic character. So she's created for the animated series to be, abusive ex-girlfriend sidekick to the Joker, and then she transfers to the comics. And I mean, the animated series did this too. Like she grows over time. It's like, oh no, she's like her own thing, and like a much better character than the Joker.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like
more
just
depth,
because she's got like more depth to her because she gets to be a character, whereas the Joker has to live in this existence of 5 minutes from now he's gonna have a completely different personality, which is interesting because you don't know what he's gonna do, but also that means you don't need to go that deep on the Joker, guys.
No, but the thing, but again, Joker was a very interesting movie. I'm not upset I've seen it. It was cool. It had really interesting moments, but I'm gonna watch Gemini Man again, and I'd rather talk about Gemini Man with people. But again, nobody is going to see it because they think it's a joke, which upsets me on a level because it's like, I just love movies. Like, I don't pay attention to the critics. I don't pay attention to the money. I just pay attention to, oh, does this look like it's gonna make me have, like, does this look like I'm gonna have fun with it? Does this look like it's gonna entertain me for 2 hours, whatever hours? Yeah, okay, I'm in. Does it have Will Smith? Yeah, okay, I'm in. Does it have Clive Owen? Yeah, okay, I'm in. Like, clones? Yeah, okay, I'm fucking in. Like,
I mean, it's because it's a very 90s movie premise, but it's got the money behind it for all of the other
yeah.
stuff Ang Lee is doing.
Mhm.
And people have decided that if something's going to have that much money put behind it, it can't just be a 90s action movie.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it can be, guys. That's the best part of it. I
Yeah.
mean, that's kind of like, it's it's kind of the Marvel problem. Marvel like puts so much money behind things, and so like they start, the phase one, all of those movies are just kind of like fun action hero movies until through Avengers, and then they're like, oh shit, people are paying attention now. Let's put more money into these and make huge grand stories out of them, so they can't just be fun anymore. And then people were like, well, if Marvel's gonna put $300 million behind a movie and make it like this deep thing with some comedy and all this other stuff, then every movie has to do that.
Yeah.
It's like, but
Yeah.
Fast and Furious. We all love the Fast and Furious movies. Those are $100 million movies that don't do that. Like, aside from how deep family is, you're just throwing helicopters at tanks at this
Yeah.
point. Like,
Legit. Yeah, no, but I don't know. It just and the also thing that makes me sad or whatever for Gemini Man is that the fact that only I think 14 theaters actually had it in the desired
well,
like
that's it.
how Ang Lee had it, how Ang Lee
Yes.
made it, like in
And
the
that's
desired viewing.
that's not a theater problem. That's an Ang Lee problem, and Ang Lee has hit this before. Ang Lee was like, I'm going to do this thing, but no theater is equipped to actually do the thing I want to do. So those 14 theaters just happen to have the money to get the thing he wanted to do.
Yeah, but
Like, that's an
okay.
unfortunate thing where it's like, I want a movie to be out in 100,000 theaters.
Yeah.
It's like, great, but they can, like, 5 of them can afford the, like, equipment to
Yeah.
play the thing you play. Because we were playing, high frame rate 3D as well, but we were probably doing it through the same projectors we always do. That's just a situation of just like they're not going to buy a new projector for one movie, especially one that might end up flopping.
Yeah.
Because Ang Lee had that same problem with he's had that problem before because he's the one that did the first Hulk with Eric Bana. And like obviously Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was huge, but the sequel came out on Netflix specifically because Ang Lee can't get movies out in America very much anymore. So like he's still dealing with the fact that he made Eric Bana's Hulk. Like that's the real problem when it all comes to it, is that everybody just laughs at the fact that he made that. So now when he tries to do other weird shit, people are like, okay, but also you made Hulk, so why are we going to give you this chance again?
But that's
which is
also something
unfortunate.
that pisses me off because it's like can't movies just be movies? Can't we just watch movies for entertainment? Why do we have to freaking make fun of Ang Lee because he did Hulk in 2003, right? Like, and which is a movie that I definitely saw but don't remember. And like Ang Lee, as far as I know, I've only ever really seen Hulk and now Gemini Man. And it's like, okay, so I don't even have that baggage. And I don't think I would even have that baggage going into this. I'm sure that like
I would have gone if I went to movies very often. My problem was that I just don't get out to them.
Yeah.
I would have seen Gemini Man weeks ago if I'd had the chance.
No, I know. I know you would. But it's just I don't know. It makes me sad that like, and also that critics are hating on it because it's a really good movie. It's so freaking fun. And the CGI work on young Will Smith is incredible. Yeah, at times it's a little wonky, but it's not gonna be perfect. It's a movie. Like, it's just there to give you to let you have that imagination and let you be like, yeah, okay, I believe that is a young Will Smith. I believe that yeah, okay, we're done here. That's Will Smith. I'm okay with it. And it's also, and I can't remember her name, something Elizabeth.
Not Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Is it Mary Elizabeth Winstead?
Yeah.
She's also in Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other stuff.
She's
Scott Pilgrim.
She's in Scott Pilgrim. She's the bad guy in Sky High, which is the bad person in Sky High. She's evil in Sky High, which that was my introduction to her as a kid. I've loved her ever since. And it's just, yeah, it's just such a good movie. And the high frame rate thing was incredible. I have never seen a movie, with the exception maybe of Ocean's 8 and laser projection. I've never seen a movie, I've never watched a movie and felt, holy shit, I'm inside of this movie. And holy shit,
Well,
everything in front of me is like, I could touch it and is real. Like, there was so much depth to every single scene, and it was the combination of the 3D and the high frame rate. There was a moment where a plane came into the frame and like freaked Devin and I out because it felt like it was there. It felt like a plane just literally came, and it looked so like I was looking at it in front of me, not on a screen. That's the best way I could describe
and
it.
I think here's the and I think that's
so real.
the other thing going against Gemini Man in this, and this has more to do with the fact that like people didn't go to see it. I don't think that people care as much about the critic side to that. I think it's just the critic side, the critic response to it paired up with the money means that like that's where that conversation comes from, because guess what, critics don't like a lot of things that make a ton of money. That happens all the time. But I think the fact that you've got the high frame rate thing and locked into 3D is the last time that was tried was The Hobbit, and famously the very first of the three Hobbit films, before they kind of figured out what they were doing, made people sick, and so people have started like just thinking about the idea of high frame rate and 3D is just a thing they don't want. But much like 3D is a thing that I think most people, if it disappeared tomorrow, most people wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
I think at this point, people only go to 3D shows because that's the one that was on, or they didn't even realize they were buying a 3D ticket until they were handed the glasses.
Whoa.
And so, like, when something is promoted as a 3D film, like, oh, high frame rate and 3D, I think people are like, oh, we don't want that, actually.
So I think definitely agree.
And so I think that's the other thing that bites into that sort of thing. But I think that, again, only creates the situation where that means it didn't make a ton of money. And so people can take that and pair it with the critic response to slam the movie, even though, like, critics hate a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's freaking toxic.
Hundreds of millions of dollars.
It's toxicity.
So...
it's toxicity that is just just people get out of your own head about it. Like, make your own opinions. Maybe try. But that's the thing. Like, I hate 3D because I have glasses, and it's really awkward to wear 3D glasses over my existing glasses.
And that's admittedly why I haven't seen it yet, because I keep like the couple of chances I've had to see it, I've ended up talking myself out of it, going, oh, but you know that 3D and your glasses are just not how this works.
But honestly,
you know you're going to be uncomfortable watching this movie.
But honestly, it wasn't that bad. Like, the only thing that was bad about it, the 3D didn't make me sick or anything. The only thing that was bad about it is that I feel like I put my 3D glasses on wrong. Like, I did not shape them well. And so, like, I was trying to adjust them the whole movie. But again, it didn't take away from the movie. It did not take away from the experience. And again, it goes into that category now of, this was a 3D movie that I saw that was wildly successful, in my opinion. And it's like Shark Night 3D and Fright Night 3D. The 2011 Fright Night. Like, 2011? Yeah, 2011. Both of those movies saw in 3D because that is how they're advertised. And if you're advertising your movie as 3D, obviously you want me to see it in 3D, so I'm going to try and do that because that's how you're intending it to be seen. And both of them were incredible. Like, the uses of 3D was great, and it didn't make me sick. But it's like, there are those other movies where it's like, I don't need to see an animated movie in 3D because it's already gonna pop. I don't need to see an Avengers movie or a Marvel movie in 3D.
Because your shaky cam's gonna make me want to throw up.
Yeah, like, it's just gonna be sickening. But if your desired outcome is, we film this with 3D cameras, we film this with 4K cameras, like, this is how it was filmed, it's not just being turned into 3D to get more money, then I'm gonna go see it. And I'm gonna sit through it, and I'm probably gonna love it. But yeah, I don't know. Go see Gemini Man. Gemini Man needs to be seen by everybody. Also, Our Souls at Night was really good. Because it's just about an older couple whose spouses have passed away and they're just trying to find companionship with each other. And Jane Fonda, it opens with Jane Fonda being like, "Hey, Robert Redford, will you sleep with me tonight?" And he was like, "What?" And she's like, "No, like literally just sleep in my bed with me because I can't sleep anymore because I have gotten so accustomed to sleeping with someone that my nights are terrible now. And I just want a companion. I just want someone who to could be in that bed with me." And they form a relationship as as companions, as like a in a romantic way too. Like it's just a beautiful movie, and young Sheldon is in it. And
Sorry. It's like after all of that, it's like, oh, and also young Sheldon is there. It's like, whoa,
yeah,
hold on.
yeah,
I assume you mean not as young Sheldon, but in
no,
my head,
no,
he's young Sheldon in
yeah.
that
I mean,
movie.
I don't want to say too much because I know some people in the house want to see it, but there's some young Sheldon tendencies in it. But yeah. Also, Maleficent, Mistress of Evil was incredible as well.
Another one that got like not like
Slammed.
kind of talked down. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again,
It's just
because again,
sad.
and again, it just like the only reason we're talking about that is because it also didn't make a ton of money. But
Yeah.
uh,
It's sad, but if you saw the original, if you saw the first Maleficent and you like that, you're gonna love this one. Even if you didn't, you should still watch them because they're pretty incredible movies. It brings Maleficent into a new light. Like it shows, it just gives you more if you love that character, which my mom loves that character, and it's
I
just
don't know. I still don't think she did enough for Kingdom Hearts. Is Sora in this movie? That's what I need to know.
no,
Damn.
maybe.
It does Haley Joel Osment pop up.
Maybe. No, but it's cool. It gives this really nice. And people would be like, why do we need backstories from Maleficent? It's just because it's fun. I don't know. Why do we need 100 Marvel movies? They're fun. It's just fun for the imagination. Movies can be fun, guys. Movies don't have to be serious all the time. They could just be stupid fun. That's my PSA for today. Go see Maleficent. Go see Gemini Man. Go see all the movies I have mentioned. Yeah, Joker. But,
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because most of what happens in the Joker doesn't really happen, so it doesn't matter. So
shut up, because it
that's my
does.
whole no. That's my whole theory
Oh
about that
my
movie and the
god.
whole ending of that movie is that he's bullshit most of that story. So it doesn't matter. He's a shitty Kaiser Sose.
But
That's
it's
why that
but
movie's
it's
so bad.
not. But it
It
but
is.
it's
No,
not. But
I mean,
no, Zach, it's not. Everything happens in that movie.
eh.
Ugh.
I think that Murray gets shot because he's obviously been arrested for that. I don't think he's carried out like Christ out of a fucking cop car. So no, I don't think 90% of that movie happened, or at least not the way that he says it did. Maybe it did happen, but I don't think it happened the way he said it did.
Well, that is your
So
interpretation, and the beautiful thing about the world is that you can have your own
it's the
opinion, but I
beautiful
do
thing
not
about
agree
it's the
at
beautiful thing about
all.
Tinkers. Um,
I don't agree with you because the movie establishes that if something is not real, it will show us and tell us it's not
well,
real.
right. It'll tell you because he told his therapist, oh, but then I realized that wasn't real.
No,
So
no, no, no,
because he's
no.
telling the therapist what she wants to hear, which is also why you get lame lines like he's just sitting there spouting the exact theme of the movie at people. Anyway,
No. Oh, Zach. No. No. So much
now I'm just doing it to bug you.
disagreement.
I mean, not doing it to bug you. It is that I believe, but also I'm
Disagreement.
doing it to bug you.
We are at an impasse. This is a
And on that
disagreement.
impasse, we should wrap up for this
Yes,
week.
we should.
This has been the 75th episode of Say
Woo! Really?
Junior. Yep.
Holy crap.
Um, you can find us on Spotify and podcast apps and Apple podcasts or whatever. If you search Say Report Junior, that's Say Report JR. You can find us on YouTube and Twitter if you search Say Report Junior. You can find us individually on uh, Twitter.
There you
I was
go.
on YouTube.
There you go. You
Uh,
can find us individually on
I am
YouTube. There
at
might not be
Zerwhiskey.
stuff there. Say your name again. I was talking over
At
you.
Zerwhiskey.
Say it one more time.
At it's just that I'm gonna start getting worse and worse as I say it. Zerwhiskey.
And I am at Dale's Brain. The Joker
Let's
happened. Let's go get ice cream. Take it away, Liz.
Thank you for listening to The Say Report with your hosts, Dayle Decker and Zack. Please follow the guys on Twitter and Facebook by searching for The Say Report, and you can always subscribe on your podcast channel so this is delivered straight to you and you can enjoy it every week. With apologies to your mother, we'll see you next time.